I'm Sabrina Samuels, and welcome to my show, Upfront and Personal. It's my intention to deliver information that will help us maintain a quality lifestyle in all aspects of our lives. So let's get started. Welcome back to another edition of the Sabrina Samuels Show with me, Sabrina Samuels. Well, on this edition, I'll answer an email message that was sent to me. She's asking my advice. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome to the Beckman Method. I'm Sabrina Samuels, and enhancing the lives of others has been my passion for over 35 years. Through interactive workshops and seminars, inspirational and motivational speaking, I help others to discover the hidden treasures, gifts, and talents within themselves. Take a look at our website and review our menu selection. Thank you. Welcome back. Once again, I'm Sabrina Samuels, and on this edition, I'm going to read an email I received from a psychologist who prefers to be anonymous. And she wanted me to read this question on the air. Of course, I did talk to her in length about her situation, and I asked her if I could actually share this, and she said, of course, I want you to share this because maybe we can get feedback from other people who might see this particular show, and they might leave a comment, maybe a suggestion in terms of what they're doing if they have a rebellious child. Anyway, let me read it. Sabrina, I have a question for you. I am a psychologist and I have a son and a daughter. We have done our best for our son. He is from an affluent family and always seems to want to go the wrong way, do the wrong thing, and I believe he hates us as parents for our success and our way of life. What advice can you give parents with rebellious children? Wow. Well, number one, I think rebellious children run the gamut, whether you're affluent, middle class, struggling along, whatever. I think that it's just in the blood of these children nowadays to be rebellious. But if I'm going to be totally honest with you, I was rebellious too. Yeah, I was rebellious. I was not rebellious in a way where I did all the wrong things, but I was rebellious in a way that I wanted to do this, do that. I thought I was grown and, I had my own mind, but I was also accomplishing things. I was outstanding in high school. I was on the debate team. I was an NFL debater. I was a national thespian. I did plays at my school. I was not only outstanding in the arts, but I was president of the student union at one time. I worked after school for the aviation administration, and I lived in Louisiana at the time. And I was doing a lot of wonderful things, but I still had my little form of rebellion. Now, for this woman who is very concerned, and some of the things she shared with me, I can understand why she has a concern. I say this. Teach up a child in the way he or she will go. And when they are older, they will not depart from it. That doesn't mean that they're not going to rebel and do the wrong thing. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, we have our children being influenced by the wrong people. And for whatever reason, kids tend to like to just teeter on the bad side. If it's the bad kids in the class, everybody likes the bad kid. They like the kid who's disruptive, the kid who's doing the wrong thing. And I don't know why this is so, but I think that if you try your best to work with your child, to expose them to the right thing, to give them the right information, you have to just do the best you can. And you have to let them get in trouble too. They have, we were the kind of parents, my husband and I, we always rescued our son from everything. And I think that you can handicap a child when you rescue them From everything. You give, you give, you give, you rescue them. You don't want them to be around this situation or that situation. And I guarantee you, the very thing that you're trying to protect them from is exactly what they're going to run to. So you have to allow your children space and listen to them. When a child tells you they're not college material, you better listen to them before you waste a lot of money. They have trade schools. They have other things that children can do. Just because you are a successful parent and you've been highly educated doesn't mean your child has those attributes. If a child wants to go to a trade school, if a child has gifts and talents in other areas, let them pursue that. We have to pay attention to our children. We have to see where their mind is at. Because sometimes, because we're successful, we just think our children are going to follow in our footsteps. It's nothing wrong with any walk of life as long as it's an honest walk of life and you're doing the best you can. There are many very wealthy people who've done jobs that you would never think you could gain money from because they've learned how to invest. They've learned about the stock market. They've learned so many things about how to manage money. We have to teach our children and we have to let them go. Let them fly, let them fall, let them hurt themselves a little bit, make that boo-boo, make that scratch on the knee, say, okay, baby, I told you not to dive off that chair like that. Now see, now you hurt yourself. Now I love you, but you're going to have to endure that pain so you can know next time you get on that chair and you decide you're going to fly off like Superman, you're going to know you're not Superman. Sometimes you have to let them bump their heads. Let them bump their heads. And sometimes we got to bump our heads too. Sometimes we need to wake up as parents. Sometimes we need to understand that we don't have all the answers, even though we're grown folks. And that doesn't mean let the child decide on what to do and what not to do. But it does mean to seek out help. If a child is gifted in a certain area, because you are a doctor or you're an attorney or you're a professional, doesn't mean that that child is going to follow in your footsteps. Find out what this child is interested in, boy or girl. Cultivate that. And then allow them to see life as it is. Talk to them. Spend time with them. Don't allow them to stay on these smart devices 24/7 with love, firmness. But every now and then you've got to let that kid know you mean business. And there has to be consequences for your actions. There must be. Something that we as parents had to learn the hard way. There has to be consequences. When you do something wrong, there has to be consequences. And stop. Some of us who have a certain amount of money, and of course our child is grown now, but we just can't give them all these new trinkets. Help them to understand that you have to earn it. I know one thing, when I was growing up, I earned everything. And I said to myself, when I have my child or when I have my children, I'm going to give them everything. And I tell you, I did just that, and it was the wrong thing to do. The wrong thing. Because we handicap our children. So let us do our part as parents, and let us make sure that we're paying attention to these kids, and let's make sure we are not allowing them to get away with things when they're young, so that they can know how to adjust when they become adults. I'm just an old-fashioned girl from the old-fashioned school of hard knocks. My mother and father did not play. They whipped us, they disciplined us, we got it the hard way. And I know I'm a success as a result of that. They taught us about God, about praying. They taught us to look to a higher power. They taught us to go within ourselves and pull out that power and that energy within ourselves. They taught us about hard work and perseverance. And they said, spare the rod and spoil the child. So with that said, I hope that this might impart some good information on young parenting today. Because you just can't let these kids get away with everything. And for parents who unfortunately might be in a situation, and I can attest to that as well, where our kids are not doing or being exactly what we think they should be. Don't worry, they'll learn. If you've done your part, they'll pull it together sooner or later. But sometimes tough love must be enforced. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of my show. Remember to go to my website, thebeckmanmethod.com. Take a look at what we have to offer. Give me a call. Let's talk about it. With a positive attitude, hard work, and perseverance, we will continue. Take care of that business, and that business will take care of you. Bye now.